Have you ever looked at someone and thought, why do they always seem 3 steps ahead? Same age, same opportunities, but somehow they always land on their feet. It's not luck, it's not genetics, it's how they think. Because intelligence isn't just about what you know. It's about how you process the world, especially when things don't go as planned. Here's the truth. Smart people don't have superpowers. They have patterns, simple ways of thinking that most people never learn or overlook because they seem too obvious. But once you adopt these patterns, you'll start noticing things you used to miss. You'll stop reacting and start responding. And slowly, your life begins to shift. In this video, we'll break down 5 powerful thinking habits of genuinely intelligent people, and more importantly, how you can start practicing them today. Before we dive in, let me ask you, are you tired of overthinking, second-guessing, and feeling stuck while others move forward? Then pay close attention, because one shift in thinking can change everything. Thinking in questions, not assumptions. Most people live their lives on autopilot, reacting to the world based on assumptions they never stop to question. But intelligent thinkers? They don't jump to conclusions. They ask better questions. This sounds simple, but it changes everything. Let's say something goes wrong. You get rejected, fail a test, or lose a job opportunity. Most people instantly default to, why does this always happen to me? Or worse, I guess I'm just not good enough. But a smart thinker pauses and asks, what part of this situation is within my control? What would I tell my best friend if they were in my shoes? What assumption am I making that might not even be true? It sounds subtle, but these kinds of questions interrupt your mental spiral. They create space, and that space gives you clarity. Now meet Malik. He's 23, just started freelancing online. He sent out 15 proposals in 1 week and didn't hear back from a single one. Frustrated, he thought, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. He almost quit. But then he remembered something he heard in a podcast. Assume nothing, question everything. So instead of spiraling, he wrote down 3 questions. 1, am I targeting the wrong clients? 2, are my proposals clear and customized? 3, have I followed up or just hoped for the best? Just from that exercise, he realized he'd been using the same generic message for every pitch. No personalization, no specifics, no value up front. So he rewrote his entire approach. By week 3, he landed his first client. What changed? Not his skills, just the way he was thinking. Here are 3 key shifts to start applying this mindset. First, replace conclusions with curiosity. The next time you find yourself thinking, I'm not good at this, pause, ask, what would make me better at this? You don't need to be right. You just need to stay open. Second, zoom out. Most people ask questions that trap them. Why am I such a failure? Better question, what can I learn from this moment that future me will thank me for? Third, challenge the hidden script. If you assume people don't like you or that you'll never succeed, ask, who told me that and why do I still believe it? Because assumptions are often hand-me-down thoughts. They didn't start with you, but they can end with you. Try this tonight. Before you go to sleep, write down one belief that's been holding you back, then ask, what if this isn't true? Let your brain sit with that question, and tomorrow you might just see things differently. Up next, we'll dive into another powerful shift. How smart people use delayed reactions to make better decisions, even under pressure. Delayed reactions. How smart people buy themselves time. Ever said something in the heat of the moment and immediately thought, why did I just say that? Yeah, we all have. But intelligent thinkers, they play a different game. They know that emotional speed kills clarity. So instead of reacting instantly, they build a buffer, a mental pause, a tiny space between trigger and response. Because in that space, you get to choose. And choice is where intelligence lives. Let's break this down. Imagine someone criticizes your work in front of others. The average mind fires back, defends, justifies, gets defensive, but the smart thinker breathes and asks, what's the most useful response right now? Is this about me or about them? Do I need to prove something or preserve my energy? That moment of silence, that's not weakness, that's strength under control. Now meet Tasha. She's 27, working at a startup. She's in a team meeting, pitching a new idea, and her manager cuts her off saying, I don't think that's realistic. Everyone goes silent. Her body wants to defend. Her ego wants to fight back. But instead of reacting, she says, "Fair enough. Could you help me understand which part felt unrealistic to you?" Boom. She bought time. She kept the room calm, and she turned a shutdown into a dialogue. 3 weeks later, that same idea got approved, with her manager's full support. Here's what she did right. 1. She paused before responding. Smart people treat their attention like a currency, and before they spend it, they breathe. 2. She separated ego from outcome. Her goal wasn't to win the meeting, it was to move the idea forward. 3. She stayed on the balcony. This is a concept from leadership psychology. When emotions run high, you either stay on the dance floor and get pulled into the chaos, or you mentally step onto the balcony and observe the situation from above. Here's the truth. You can't control every situation, but you can control the gap between the stimulus and your response. That gap is your superpower, and you can train it too. Try this. Next time someone says something that triggers you, instead of replying immediately, count 3, 2, 1 in your head. Feel the emotion, but don't become it. Then choose your response, not to be right, but to be clear. Because intelligence isn't loud, it's patient. And when you can stay calm under pressure, you become the one others turn to when everything feels like it's falling apart. Up next, we'll explore a mindset that flips failure on its head. Why smart people don't fear mistakes, they collect them. Smart people collect mistakes and turn them into advantage. Most people are terrified of being wrong. They see mistakes as proof they're not good enough. So they hide them, avoid them, deny them. But smart thinkers, they collect mistakes, like data points, because to them, failure isn't failure, it's feedback. This one shift separates people who stay stuck from those who grow fast. See, the average mind ties mistakes to identity. I failed, I suck. I got rejected, I'm not meant for this. But the intelligent mind says, what did this teach me? What pattern is repeating here? What's the next experiment I can run? They think like scientists, not victims. Let's talk about Jamal. He's 19, learning to code online. He just spent 3 weeks building his first app. Launched it, and no one downloaded it. His first thought was, I wasted my time. But then he reframed. Okay, no downloads, no visibility. What did I miss in marketing? He looked at his title, thumbnail, outreach, and realized he built a decent product, but never thought about who he was building it for. So he went back, redesigned the landing page, made a new video demo, reposted it in 3 Discord groups he was active in. 2 weeks later, he got 80+ downloads. Same skill, same product, different learning loop. And that's the difference. Smart thinkers move fast, not because they're smarter, but because they don't stall in shame. They fail forward. Here's how you can do the same. First, track lessons, not wins. At the end of each week, ask yourself, what mistake did I make that taught me something valuable? Write it down. This builds what psychologists call a growth mindset bias. You start looking for insight instead of blame. Second, de-shame your failures. Talk about your small mistakes openly, not to complain, but to normalize learning. When failure is part of the culture, everyone levels up faster. Third, run safe-to-fail experiments. Don't wait until everything's perfect. Launch a messy version. Test a small pitch. Try one bold message. Smart people don't wait for confidence. They build it through tiny, repeated experiments that teach them something new. Here's a challenge. This week, try something you've been putting off, not to succeed, but just to learn. Post that idea. Send that email. Make that ask. Then track. What happened? What surprised you? What will you tweak next time? Sure, because when you start seeing life as a series of experiments, nothing is final. Everything is growth. But here's the twist. Smart people don't just think better in the present. They also zoom out on and think on longer timelines. Let's talk about that next. Thinking long-term, playing the infinite game. Most people think in days, weeks, maybe months. Smart people think in decades. They ask, what kind of life am I building? Not just what do I want right now. They don't chase every trend, every opportunity, or every dopamine spike. They play what author Simon Sinek calls the infinite game. Here's the idea. Finite players play to win. Infinite players play to last. That changes everything. Let's take Andy as an example. He's 26, working in tech. His friends are jumping between jobs every year, chasing higher pay. Andy's tempted. He's skilled. Recruiters are calling. But instead of chasing the next shiny title, he asks, what skills do I want to master in the next 5 years? Where can I build depth, not just motion? Who do I want to become, not just what do I want to have? So he stays. But he goes deeper. He takes on messy projects, learns how to lead, how to solve real business problems. By 29, he's not just a manager, he's a strategist. His peers jumped around. He built something. Here are 3 long-term thinking habits you can adopt. First, build skills, not trophies. Anyone can get certificates. Smart thinkers ask, can I do something others can't? They value competence, not just credentials. Second, reverse your regrets. Before you make a big choice, ask, if I look back in 10 years, what decision would I be proud of, even if it's slower? Most people want fast returns, but smart people want lasting impact. Third, think in systems. Instead of asking, how do I fix this problem? Ask, how do I build a system so this problem doesn't keep happening? That's how intelligent people free up time, reduce stress, and grow without burning out. Try this. Pick one area of your life, health, money, relationships. Ask yourself, if I did this consistently for the next 3 years, what would change? Then, start small, because long-term wins are built through short-term alignment. Now, we've talked about zooming out, but smart people also do something counterintuitive when they set goals. They don't just imagine success. They picture what might get in the way. Let's break that down. Mental contrast: why smart people visualize obstacles, not just outcomes. You've heard it a million times. Visualize success. See yourself achieving your dreams. Manifest the outcome. But here's the surprising truth. Smart people don't just picture what they want. They picture what might go wrong. It's called mental contrast, a concept from psychologist Gabriele Uerdingen. And it's one of the most underrated thinking habits intelligent people use. Because while most people get high off positive thinking, smart people combine optimism with realism. Let's break it down. Imagine you have a goal. You want to start waking up early, be consistent at the gym, and focus better. Average thinking sounds like, I can do this. I'm motivated. This time will be different. Smart thinking sounds like, yes, I want that, but what usually stops me? What's the exact moment I tend to give up? What emotion or distraction shows up first? Now, meet Alina. She's 24, trying to build a freelance design business. She's got vision boards, big goals, lots of why power. But every week, she slips, procrastinates, scrolls, delays her outreach. One day, she tries something new. Instead of visualizing herself booking 5 clients, she visualizes her worst pattern kicking in. It's 3 p.m. She's tired. She opens Instagram. Just for 5 minutes. 1 hour later, her focus is gone. So she sets a simple plan. At 2:55 p.m., she puts her phone in another room, brews tea, turns off notifications, and gives herself 90 minutes of deep work. That one change doubled her client work in 2 weeks. Not because she visualized success harder, but because she pre-paved her way through the obstacle. Here's how you can apply this. First, don't stop at the dream. After visualizing what you want, ask, what's the most likely thing that will pull me off track? Be honest, not dramatic. Second, plan for the dip. Everyone gets tired, bored, unmotivated. Smart people don't avoid it, they prepare for it. Set a dip response to something small you'll do when the slump hits. Even one breath, a glass of water, or a 2-minute walk can reset your brain. Third, run a mental premortem. Ask, if this fails, why will it fail? And then protect against that. Because success isn't built by pretending everything will go right. It's built by being ready when it doesn't. Try this tonight. Write down one goal. Then list 3 things most likely to block you, and 1 thing you'll do when each one shows up. You'll feel calmer, more in control, and way more likely to follow through. Now, you've just unlocked all 5 thinking habits smart people use, but what truly changes your life isn't knowing them. It's believing you can practice them, one shift at a time. Let's wrap it all together. You've just seen how smart people think differently. They ask better questions. They pause before reacting. They learn from mistakes instead of running from them. But here's the truth most people miss. You don't need a higher IQ to think like this. You need higher awareness. Because intelligence isn't about solving equations. It's about solving yourself. It's choosing curiosity over ego, stillness over reactivity, growth over comfort. And maybe, just maybe, it's realizing you've always been smarter than you gave yourself credit for. You just needed a new way of thinking to unlock it. Now imagine this. You're in a tough conversation. Instead of defending yourself, you pause, breathe, ask a question that shifts the tone completely. Or you make a small mistake at work, but instead of spiraling, you journal what you learned and come back stronger the next day. That's what this is about. Thinking smart isn't about being perfect. It's about playing the long game, why with calm, clarity, and self-trust. And the more you practice this, the more people around you will start to notice there's something different about you, not louder, not flashier, just sharper, quieter, more grounded, and they'll want to follow that. If this video sparked something in you, don't just feel inspired. Practice one shift today, just one. Maybe it's pausing before you react, or rewriting one assumption that's been holding you back. Because small mental shifts create big life changes. And if you want to keep leveling up the way you think, the next video will go even deeper. How to train your focus, reduce mental noise, and make decisions without overthinking. So hit subscribe. And remember, you don't need to be born smart to think smart. You just need to choose better thoughts more often. That choice starts now.